Hey everyone, welcome back to Brownlow Books. Last year I gave you my reading intentions. There was 3 of them. So here are my reading intentions, I guess, for 2022. I will start off with my Goodreads reading challenge I set at 40 books. I read 70 books last year. I set this year's goal at 40 books because I have things going on, I have things I'm working on, I don't want to try to stress myself out, and, we don't know what's gonna be happening with this pandemic still yet again. My area is currently in like a semi-lockdown. It's not quite full lockdown, but it's basically a lockdown. So, I might end up reading more, I might end up reading less if I have to start, like, going back out there and doing my business stuff, which honestly I hate the thought of, if we're being real. But, yeah, that. So yeah, I only set it at 40 because it's just too much stress. We don't know what the year is gonna do. Whatever. So, intentions. Same as the third one last year, I want to read more of what I already own. You can't see this and I will never ever show you, but behind the camera there is 4 book wide, 2 book deep, hip high stacks of books that don't fit on my shelves behind me. And I don't have any space to put more bookshelves, but like behind that there's also 3 bookshelves, and there's like 5 here, and there's 1 over there, and there's 1 over there, and like, I need to read some shit. To be honest, I don't even think I've read a quarter of what I own. It's bad. It's bad. Like, it's bad. I mean, when you can go to a library book sale or charity book sale and you can have like 40 books for like $20, you get out of hand, especially if you're me who just wants to read everything, right? So that's a continued intention. I am going to try to help remedy that by reading more of the lower rated books that are on my shelves in hopes of getting rid of them, because I have a thing about getting rid of them if I haven't read them and I should just like, So that's one thing. I also do want to continue to try to read more classics. Didn't go so great last year. Hoping to do a little better this year. I'm gonna be more intentional about picking those up. Hopefully, I'm trying to make myself almost like a chart, not necessarily a chart, but like a running list of like, okay, you read this kind of book, now go read this kind of book, to like try to diversify what I'm reading a little bit more. In that same vein, I do want to try to read more of my nonfiction. I feel like I didn't read a lot of that last year. I mean, last year was rough. I was very much, I don't want to be in this world we're currently in. Send me back to the 1800s, I'm done. So, like, it was very, very fiction last year, and very, like, anything to get me out of what the world is doing. So, nonfiction and memoirs kind of put you back into what the world is doing, so that'll very much depend on if my area gets better. I don't fucking know. Like, whatever. It's wishful thinking. Everyone's tired, right? Not gonna talk about that. More intentions goes along with the list. I have piles and piles of books that I see hyped up online, like everyone's reading them, or bestsellers, or both, whatever. So I pick them up when I see them cheaper, and they may not be quite so hyped anymore, but they're still here on my shelves waiting to be read. So I am going to try to be reading more of like bestsellers that I missed. Basically, like, God, like, what's behind me? Like, a lot of, like, just I have a lot of John Green there, and I haven't read the John Green, but like John Green's a great fucking author, and I've read what 2 of his books, and I own 5 or something. Like, it's just that kind of thing, you know? So that's one thing. Gosh, what else? What else? I think it's probably the majority of it. Read what I have, read some classics, read some bestsellers, read some more nonfiction if brain things allow it. Oh, this is what I'm really bad for. I will read the first book in a series and then never read the rest of the series. But I'll own the rest of the series. So in particular, I think it was 2 years ago now that I read The Rosie Project. What's that? Graham's something with an S. But I have the 2 books that come after that, and I have not read them yet. So I'm going to do that. Just like my 5th book of The Great Library by Rachel Caine is sitting behind the camera waiting, and I'm like, you've been waiting for so long, fucking read it. That kind of thing. I start one, I don't read the second, that kind of thing. So, I want to read my arcs. This is a particularly difficult one because many of my arcs are coming to me from the US. I have a holding service, aka a friend's house, that the books go to, and then they bundle them all up and send them to me a couple times a year. So sometimes I get them ahead of time and it's still like a suitable time to read them, and sometimes the book's already been out for like 2 months and I kind of like glance past it even though I was really excited to read it. So when they actually come beforehand, I want to like try to read them sooner, but I still want to like force myself to read the arcs that I have not read. Like, they were kind enough, the publishers, the authors, they were kind enough to send me the book. I am going to read the book. I have so many more intentions this year. So, I mean, I'm going to continue to read stories about people who are different than I am, different from myself. I'm going to try to read more of like memoirs and nonfiction in particular that are like different from myself, because I was reading mostly fiction for that one. So like I'm gonna try to mix it up a little more, and I think that's what this all boils down to. I'm gonna mix it up a little more. I keep getting stuck. What else do I want to read? God, I just want to fucking read everything. It's so difficult to narrow this down. Yeah. That's what I've got for you. That's what I've got. If you want, share your reading intentions with me in the comments. I'm happy to hear what you want to be doing differently in your reading. I just want to, like, not pay attention as much to how much I am reading, but rather just, like, read. You know? I think that's probably a big one for some people. They get so caught up with reading challenges and page numbers, and they're just like, I gotta read, but it's like, we shouldn't be speed reading through everything and not enjoying it. We should be enjoying what we read. That's the purpose of reading, is enjoyment and education and, you know, picking up what they're putting down, not just like reading it and it's gone. Gotta treat it like fine dining. Even if it's the crappiest little Harlequin paperback that you have. Like, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Alright, so share those intentions with me in the comments, and we will see what's up with you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.